I want to just review that very briefly with you. It's got two parts to it. Mac OS 8, which is doing wonderfully, and we're improving it every 6 months. The software team's doing a phenomenal job on this, and we announced Mac OS 10. The future of the Mac OS, we will announce the first version in production a year from now. So what is Mac OS 10? I think we all know what OS 8 is. What is OS 10? OS 10 is the product of Mac OS 8 and a lot of the technology that was in Rhapsody. And the goal was to make a very modern OS that runs Mac apps, where we don't have to write new apps to get all the modern features we want. So what are these modern features? They're protected memory. Right? When an app crashes, it doesn't bring down any other apps or the system. It's great virtual memory, where the computer manages the memory for you in a very intelligent way. Preemptive multitasking, true multitasking, so that when an application tries to hog the machine, of course, the operating system partitions the time in a different way. Multi-threading, fast networking, really fast networking. In the future, we got great networking now on OS 8, but we're taking it even further with OS 10. Very fast file I/O. Fully PowerPC native, so the operating system in general screams. And the most important thing, runs all OS 8 apps, and with a very minor tune-up that will take a developer from 2 to 4 weeks to do. Their existing Mac OS 8 apps will spring to life on OS 10 with all the new features I just outlined. And the developers love this. They said, thank God you now understand what we want. We don't want to rewrite our apps to get these features. We want to take our existing apps, tune them up, and have them run on a modern OS. And you've given us exactly that as a plan. A very easy transition for our developers and their apps, and we believe our end users too. So that's what Mac OS 10 is. And if you take a look at the timeline, we shipped 8.1 in the first calendar quarter of this year. We're going to ship release 8.5, which we call Allegro, late this quarter, and it's a great release. And then we're going to ship 8.6 in the first quarter of next year, and Sonata again in the third calendar quarter of next year. So that's the roadmap for System 8, right? Starting with 8.1, and as you can see, about every 6 months, there is a release, right? So that's where we are with System 8. Where are we with Mac OS 10? Well, we put out the draft spec of Mac OS 10 at the developer conference. We've been getting tremendous amounts of feedback, thousands of apps. We put out some tools to allow the developers to run on their existing apps, to tell them roughly how much work it was going to be to tune up their apps. And the data that's come back, thousands of people have run their apps through this stuff and given us the data back, and it's exactly what we predicted. So we're right on the money, I think, with this. So the spec has been fantastic. We're getting lots of great feedback from our developers. Then we are shipping what we used to call Rhapsody, and we will rename Mac OS 10 Server around the end of this quarter, early next quarter. And this is the OS guts of Mac OS 10 as a server product, and it's a dynamite server product that we're going to ship around the end of this quarter or early next quarter. We're going to be shipping then in 1999 a beta of the Mac OS 10 desktop software in calendar Q1, and our goal is to ship production version of Mac OS 10 calendar Q3 of 1999. So this stuff is not 2 or 3 or 4 years out. This stuff is all happening a year from now. We're very, very excited about it. So again, you can see the OS 10 going from the spec to the shipping product. The reason we can do this so fast is because a lot of it already exists. We've been working like crazy for the last year, and we only divulged our plans a few months ago, and we are fairly far along on this stuff. So, which brings us to Allegro. Allegro, Mac OS 8.5, I believe is going to be the most important release of the Mac OS in the last many, many years, surpassing even OS 8. surpassing even OS 8. And so what I'd love to do is, we'd love to show you some of this today. I'd love to invite Phil Schiller on the stage. Phil, you saw in our video just then, he runs worldwide product marketing, to give us a demo of a few features of Allegro OS 8.5. Phil?
Hey, Steve. Thanks a lot. I'm actually incredibly excited to be able to do the first public demonstration of just a couple of the features that are inside this great new release that we call Allegro, lovingly call Allegro. And what I'd like to do is actually bring up an Allegro machine running a early beta of Allegro and focus on two key features, that we think will be of extreme importance to all of our customers. One feature will be a new search engine, a search engine so powerful that we're going to give it a name. We're actually going to call the search engine Sherlock, because it's like having your own private detective inside your computer, helping you to find all the information you need anywhere in the world. And then the second demonstration I'd like to take you through is of network copy performance. Anyone on a network who works with large files, which is most all of our professional customers, live and die by fast networking performance. We have a lot of great surprises there in Allegro. So to begin with, here we are in Allegro, up on the screen now in front of you. And as you know, in macOS 8, we delivered some new finding features. As I pulled down the Find control panel, you'll see I have the ability in macOS 8 to search files on my disk. So for example, if I type in the name or the words USB and hit return, it's now finding across my large hard drive all of the documents that have USB in the title. And there they are, and I can scroll through some of them, and they're things like USB connector documents and USB specifications and USB drivers. And that's a very powerful way to find file attributes. But now with Allegro, we can go much, much farther. With Allegro's new search engine, Sherlock, we can actually find content inside all of your documents. So here I've brought up the next control panel, and let me type in a find. And it can be a very natural English statement. Like, let's look for cool USB products. It would help if I was a great typer. For iMac, and of course the more I write, the more specific it can be. Let's look for printers and floppies. And now what the search engine Sherlock is doing, it's going over my hard drive. I have 10,000 documents on my hard drive. 10,000 documents. It's searched them, it's looked for that content, and it's ranked it by relevance. See this new column that's highlighted? Relevance. It actually looks inside the documents at the text and ranks them by the relevancy of the statement I've written. And it looks inside all of your popular documents that we all use every single day. It looks inside my Word documents, my Quark Express documents, my ClarisWorks or AppleWorks documents. It searches all of these and comes up with the information. Let's just pick the first one right on top there. And here I open up a document, and inside it is actually information about HP's new DeskJet printer. Later. And there's the information presented to me. Now that took a few seconds. Maybe there's a faster way to find out if that's the document I want. I can actually simply click on a document, pull down a control panel, and say, summarize this document. And now the Sherlock search engine has gone and created a 2-paragraph summary of a long document. Pretty nice. Now you see why we gave it a name. Well, with Sherlock, we can search all of these 10,000s and more documents on all your drives and across your network. But what if Sherlock could reach out on the internet, the entire World Wide Web, and find whatever content you like to find? So here we click on the third panel, Search the Internet. And now I can type in a statement, and Sherlock will look out across the whole World Wide Web. And we've worked with a number of the world's best search engines to work on getting all the access to the content on the web. So here's Alta Vista, our own tech info library you can search, an encyclopedia on the web, Excite, Hotbot.